Hi guys, today I want to show you how I hunt Warzone 5 on a 350 plus EK. Let me preface this by saying this is a bestiary spot only. I would never really go here just to actually hunt. But it's pretty good for bestiary, 125 points total pretty quickly, but we'll get to that. So let's go into the breakdown of Warzone 5 on an EK solo. Experience is around 4 out of 10. Loot is actually pretty good. Depends on the price of the suspicious devices on your server, but nevertheless it's pretty good. 8 out of 10. Spawn difficulty around 6 out of 10. They can hit a lot, but in general it's not too bad. Optimization difficulty 3 out of 10. This is because you need to be swapping weapons sometimes because the elements are a bit funky on this respawn, which is a bit annoying, but it's not too bad. Access difficulty is 1 out of 10. You basically need to either do some tasks or hand in suspicious devices, so it's not very difficult. And popularity is 0 out of 10. I have never seen a single person hunting here, so that's an upside of this place at least. And I think it can be effectively hunted by both Knights and Paladins solo. Maybe Druid and Sorcerer, I think it would be a bit awkward. And I think a duo would be a bit awkward, but probably doable. I think that EK-ED duo is leaning towards yes rather than a maybe. I think it's probably doable, and I wouldn't hunt here on a full team hunt. It just wouldn't be any good. And the extra notes that I have is that there is an annoying weapon swap. You definitely want to have an ice weapon, and then you also need to have either an earth or a death weapon that you will be switching depending on the monsters that you have in the pack. That is annoying. I have to say this is probably the main reason why I don't spend very much time here. Anyway, let's take a look at the results. So in 30 minutes, I was getting 3 million KK per hour raw experience, which is 4.5 million on 150%, and the loot of somewhere between 7 to 900k per hour, depending on the price of the suspicious devices. Those guys drop loads of other expensive items, so it's not just the suspicious devices that make up the loot, by the way. Out of the 800k profit, you know, maybe 200k profit is from the suspicious devices. So it's still, even without the suspicious devices, it's a pretty good profit spot. And looking at the bestiary, you need about 6.5 hours for Cave Devourer, 5 hours for Tunnel Tyrant, and about 3 hours for High Voltage Elemental. Sorry for that misspelling right there. So yeah, it's pretty good, right? It's 125 points total for 6.5 hours of work, which is approximately 20 points per hour, which is decent. So definitely mostly just a bestiary spot. I wouldn't really be going here once I have the full bestiary. Requirements, you need at least level 350. You will need to have bits of the Dangerous Depths quest line. You need to either have 10 or 15 task points for that particular war zone. Depending on whether you've completed the other war zones 1 to 3, I think then you need only 10 points instead of 15. Read up about it. It's not too complicated, but yeah, you need to have the task points, which you can do either by doing tasks or by handing in suspicious devices. And like I mentioned earlier, you will need an ice weapon or an earth or death weapon. And the way these weapon swaps work, for the majority of the hunt, you will mostly be killing Tunnel Tyrants. They're the most common monster here. And for those, you will be using the ice weapon. And whenever there's no Tunnel Tyrants and you basically have High Voltage Elementals and Cave Devourers together, then you will be switching to this earth or death weapon, whatever is better for you. In my case, I was using a death weapon because my death weapon is better than my earth weapon. But, for example, in Sword, I would be using the two-handed soul weapon in ice, and I would be switching to the two-handed earth weapon. Anyway, moving on, recommended imbuements, everything standard, you don't need anything extra. And with regards to the damage breakdown, I would prioritize earth protection. As you can see, it makes up as much as 29% of the damage here, which is a lot when you compare it to 42% physical and 11% energy and 10% fire. Definitely try and get your Terror Helmet on if you're slightly lower level, maybe an earth protection imbuement if you're struggling. Supplies wise, not too much. I use up about 2,000 strong manas and about 10 supreme health potions per hour. I don't use any charms. Like I said, this is a charm place, so you know, as soon as you unlock them, you don't really want to be hunting there anyway. And the character you will see in the video is a level 558 EK with 128 axe skill with loyalty and no praise and no charms active. Moving on to the route. as you can see, this is where we come in, and we do pull number 1 right here, pull number 2 around there. Here you've got a choice of 1 or 2 pulls. Personally, I go for 2 because this means that in this first one here, I have the elementals and the cave devourers, so I can use my death weapon here, and then I use the ice weapon in the second pull here, where I pull some tunnel tyrants. If you like, you can just make this, you know, a single. You can just make this a single big pull. Up to you. Fourth pull you do right here, then you go here. Fifth pull, sixth pull. Then again, here you've got a similar situation where you can do either 2 pulls if you like, or you can just do 1 big one. Up to you. See how it works best for you. Anyway, you do a big pull here. Then you go southwest, pull somewhere around here, mostly containing just elementals, mostly for bestiary. Once you unlock the elemental bestiary, you can maybe skip this pull. West and north, big pull right here, another big pull right here, and one last one here, and you go back to the start. And that's basically your whole loop. Quite a number of pulls. Yeah, and the bestiary goes pretty quickly. The profit's pretty good. Nobody ever hunts here, so it's a relatively decent place for like an alternative hunt. Most annoying is the weapon swap. I really hate having to hunt places where I need to swap weapons. It's really annoying, but it is what it is. You know, 6.5 hours for bestiary and you're done. So I'm going to play the video now, so I hope you enjoy the content. If you do, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.